Hey everyone, it's Brett from Hope to Prosper, and I'm here at in Bullhead City at the Colorado River, and it is a beautiful day. I mean, it's a gorgeous day. It's about 113 degrees, but besides that, it's awesome. And we're at the Arizona War Memorial, which is really nice. Anyways, this place has some special meaning to me, so I'm here this weekend and enjoying myself. So today's subject is my take on Die with Zero. I wanted to discuss the book. I just read it. So anyways, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoy it. Several of my viewers have left comments on my channel recommending the book Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. And since I'm really interested in optimizing my retirement for, enjoyment, for maximum enjoyment and not just maximum financial gain, I picked up Die with Zero at the bookstore last week and I read it. And overall, I really enjoyed the book and I thought it made a lot of sense and had some great points. But I also had some issues with it that I'll discuss with you right now. First, I was put off by the title. So one of the reasons that I hadn't read this book up until now is because I had an issue with the title and I didn't think it fit with my ideal of optimum retirement. My goal is to continuously increase my net wealth so I can increase my net income, at my withdrawal rate. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to average about 10% return on my investments and spend at a 5% withdrawal rate. I'm actually making a little more than that on my return, so I'm spending about 6% on my withdrawal rate and kind of enjoying it. The market turns around, we'll change that. But just to give me a much higher level of security and keep pace with inflation. And it's not my goal to amass the biggest fortune before I die or to, like I said, just grind out a retirement existence while I hoard all my money. But it's also not my goal to just spend up all my money down to zero. I have a wife, kids, and grandkids, and I'd like to leave them something. So that's why I'm just getting around to reading it. Oh, and by the way, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers and welcome to my channel. If you have any questions or you want to see any subjects covered, feel free to leave a comment. Anyways, welcome. First thing, the book is based on 9 rules and 9 chapters. So basically there's 9 rules and each has its own chapter. And I think they're pretty cool. And they're designed to optimize your retirement. So I'm going to cover these 9 rules pretty quickly and keep this review short, at a short watch time. Since the book's brief, I'm going to make my review brief as well. So rule number 1 is to optimize your life. And this first chapter deals with, converting your life energy into money and experiences. And it rails against a life of just senselessly delayed gratification or money hoarding. And explains the virtues of living your life instead of delaying it or waiting on everything. Rule 2 is to invest in experience. And the book recommends investing experiences as early in life as possible. Take that trip to Europe when you're in your 20s or, go on that cruise in your 30s instead of your 50s. And this allows you to receive what they call money dividends. And memory dividends. And the earlier in your life you invest in these experiences, the longer you'll have the experiences in your life. And so that's why they recommend doing things earlier. One issue I have with this, in my opinion, is that money invested early in your life will compound for a long time, and it'll bring in a lot of future revenue instead of being just spent on experiences. So I think some balance is in order in there. It can cost you financially. But you can really enrich your life by having memories. And so it's not all just about money. Chapter 3, or Rule 3, why die with zero? Now, Bill Perkins puts out a pretty compelling argument about why you should die with zero. And it's hard to argue against his logic of maximizing your experiences and enriching your life with all these experiences. My problem is that the feasibility of the strategy. How long will you live? How long will your money last? How will your money do in the market? What happens if the market crashes or you have a financial problem or a health problem when you've spent up most of your money? So even though there's some benefits to spending down in retirement and you don't have to keep growing your wealth after you're 70, there's some risks. There's some real risks. I wouldn't want to be down to a couple $100,000 and then have a health problem or have a financial problem. So I'm not comfortable with spending down to zero, and I won't be doing it. That's for sure. Rule number 4, how to spend your money. Now, this chapter explains how you can spend down your money towards zero and not run out of money before you die. But as I already stated about this, I don't see any practical way to make this happen. What if you think you're going to live to be 90 and you spend up all your money and then you live to be 100? So there's a lot of risk in this. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing it. And what about your kids? So this is a cool chapter. That was my biggest question. What if I spend up all my money and then what are my wife and kids going to do and my grandkids? So this chapter addresses errors and what it recommends is helping your heirs out earlier in your lives so that by the time you spend down to zero, you've already helped them buy the house or help their kids go to college or whatever. And doing this instead of waiting until you die, If I die in my 90s, my kids are going to be in their 70s. $1 million would be cool for them, but really it's not going to change their life. It's a little late in the game. So this is a strategy I completely agree with, and it was something I was planning to do before I even read this book. In fact, I made a video recording about it, about 6 months ago, what I plan to do. But, this is something that I think is a great chapter, and it addresses this for me. But the one caveat is to make sure your own retirement is fully secure before you try and help out your kids. You could literally, quote, help them out and then end up living with them. So, it's something to make sure that you have your own oxygen mask on before you try and give the kids some of your retirement money. Rule 6, balance your life. Now, I'm a big believer in balance and avoiding anything extreme in retirement. I created a whole video on this, a balance in retirement, last year, and it's one of my most popular early videos, so I think it kind of resonated with some of you. Balance can keep you from hoarding your money and living a stringent, existence while you just keep getting money, and it could also avoid you from spending it away recklessly and ending up broke. So balancing my time, health, and money, all three, that's one of my most important retirement goals. And what I do is I use ratios, both first to save and now to spend down. And that's helped me a lot to keep balance in my life. It keeps you from doing something stupid. If you're living on a 5% withdrawal rate, you don't buy the $500,000 RV. So that kind of stuff, something I recommend. So number 7, start to time bucket your life. I think this is a great concept. In fact, this is one of the best things that I've gotten out of the book. And I've decided to adopt it. I already have a bucket strategy for my money. And having one for time seems like it's just a great idea. And there are definitely things on my bucket list that I'm not going to be able to do when I'm older. So like hiking my mountain peaks and things of that sort. So I was already doing this to some extent. It's a fantastic concept. And I might get a little more detailed on bucketing my time of my bucket list items. Number 8, know your peak. And this chapter explains how to know when you should stop accumulating wealth and start spending down. And for most people, this starts around retirement, but many people never stop accumulating. And they purposely spend less than they bring in, and there's a lot of reasons for this, and they're valid. So I hope to do this. I hope to increase my spendable income and keep pace with inflation. I hope my nest egg doesn't go down. If it does, I'm not going to freak out because I've done pretty well, but it's something that I'm hoping the peak's out there a ways, put it that way. But I'm also not afraid to spend down. I'm spending 6% right now, and I'm not worrying about it. I'm trying to enjoy my go-go years as much as possible. And others like the security, and they just don't want or need to spend more. That's something I see both from the YouTube retirement community, people who are YouTubers like me, and also like the commenters and the viewers, is that they just don't feel the need to spend more money, or they just don't want to. It doesn't bring that much value to their life. So the 9th one, last chapter here, is to be bold, not foolish. And this is a chapter that kind of hit me in the gut because I've always taken the safe path with my career and all that stuff. And I kind of wish when I was younger I swung for the fences a little more. So the safe path was still lucrative for me. I did pretty well in tech, and I was able to accomplish all my financial goals, but I'm pretty sure I could have done a lot more if I had gone out on my own. Okay, so let's wrap this up. In conclusion, right, I definitely enjoyed reading this book. I recommend it to others, but honestly, it didn't really unlock any new secrets for me that would make me strive to die with zero, or even spend a lot more money than I planned to already. I'm kind of happy with the amount of money that I see that I'm going to spend on the horizon. And I think if I spent another $1 million in my life instead of passing it on, I just don't see how much value it would bring to me, you know. So, but I recommend this book to two people, right? One, I'd recommend it to anyone who's having trouble spending their money in their retirement to enjoy themselves. Anybody who's hoarding money, anybody who is senselessly accumulating, you know, think about some of these concepts. You know, your life is short. Your time is coming up. So, you know, enjoying your life more, it's time to stop putting off stuff you really want to do because of money. Unless you're headed for dire straits, if you're doing well financially, spending more money, I'm going to recommend it. I'm doing it, and I recommend it. Also, I recommend this to anyone who's considering giving away some of their inheritance before they actually die. That's something I was considering before this book, and I think it makes good recommendations for those two scenarios, and that could give somebody the confidence to go forward with spending more and giving away some of their inheritance, provided they're doing well. Here's my problem with the book, right? It's just a non-stop, immutable premise that not spending all your money somehow robs you of your happiness. And I don't agree with this, right? I mean, yes, if you're just hoarding your money, then you're not going to be as happy as if you went on the cruise and took your children and gave them a house or whatever. But is anyone really less happy or fulfilled if they don't spend all their money before they die? He seems to think that's a constant in the optimization strategy he has, and I just don't see all the value in it, you know? Would you really have a better life if you blew all your money versus dying with $1 million? So for me, maximum lifetime enjoyment doesn't always come from money. Honestly, in my life, it comes from experiences and relationships, and neither of these are really that expensive. You know, I took my family up the Oregon coast, and we stayed in Motel 6s and Super 8s, and then I rented a Vrbo for all of us. It wasn't that expensive. A couple tanks of gas and, you know, maybe $1,500 on lodging and food. So having and spending more money can be fun, but it's not always that fulfilling, especially for some people. Spending money isn't that fulfilling to me, to be honest. Yes, I love to do fun things, but if I stayed in a resort versus a Super 8, I'd probably have just as much fun. So another issue I have, and this is something that I think gets glossed over, but it's hugely important to me, and I'm pretty sure to some of my viewers, and that's the value of comfort and security in retirement. You know, I would be much happier spending less money if I knew my retirement was going to be secure than if I spent all the money on experiences and blew it all. I'd much rather have this security. So security in retirement is one of my primary goals, and I would never sacrifice it just for more spending. And I suspect a lot of my readers may feel the same way. Okay, listen, everybody. Thanks for coming along this week. I hope you enjoyed the discussion of Die with Zero. I hope you think about reading the book. It's still a good read, even if you don't agree with everything in it. And then also, feel free to add your take or your comments below, and I'll be happy to share it with everyone. So I wish you all health, happiness, and prosperity in your lives, and I will see you next week on our next big adventure.